recorded live.
Good morning, good evening, wherever you may be across the nation or around the world. Once again, you're listening to the VMware Communities Roundtable Podcast. This is podcast number 564. My name is Eric Nilsson, and with me today, I have my regular co-host, Matt Longeth. Today is Wednesday, July 21st, 2021. Matt, how you doing today?
Eric, I am well. We have started to see just within the last day or two some of that smoke and whatnot in the air from the western wildfires over here in the mid-Atlantic. Noticeable tinge to the air, if you will, has made for some beautiful sunsets and sunrises, but otherwise very much apparent that something is going on out in the West Coast and Western Canada. But enough on the East Coast, sir. How are you? How are things out on the West Coast? And most importantly, what is the color of the bay?
Well, let me tell you, just like COVID is trying to come back, I mean, I think 2021 is just going to keep showing up here. And yes, we do have a few wildfires going on in California, and it's at Tahoe. So Tahoe's burning, and we got them again. It's not as bad in the Bay Area. We don't have any tinge. It's been a beautiful 72-degree, chilly, clear days the last few days. So can't go wrong with that. But I do feel bad for the people up in the Sierra Nevada mountain range, which is burning, and then it is blowing eastward across the nation. So feel so bad for you guys getting to smell that, and we're going to hope that we don't go through a bad fire season, but we do have some fires going on up in the mountain ranges. But it's beautiful, and the color of the bay is kind of a light turquoise green. Hard to say that, but it's sunny and nice, and people are enjoying the Bay Area right now, and the color of the bay is good. We're having some nice weather here in Northern California. On the show today, I'm excited about this show, Matt, because we're going to have the vSphere mobile client team on. In fact, if you go to youtube.com vbarbecue, you can go take a look at some of the engineers we have on the show. We have Siva, who is a senior member of the technical staff for the user interface team here at VMware. And then we also have Tihomir. I'm going to mess that up, but I'll let him introduce himself anyway. He is also a staff member on the engineering team. So I'm really excited to have engineering in the house today. So welcome, guys. Just say hello, and then we're going to get to the news, and then we'll loop back and hear your stories, and then talk about the mobile client. How you guys doing?
Thanks, Eric. I'm doing good. Hi, everyone. My name is Sivakarthi. As Eric mentioned, I'm a senior member of technical staff in the vSphere UI team. I've been here with VMware for 3 years. It has been great going so far. And I worked on VCSI installer and vSphere HTML5 client and now the mobile client. And yeah, user interface has been a passion for me so far. Yeah.
Nice.
Hey guys, it's Tihomir.
There you go.
Speaking from Bulgaria, a long-term member of the UI team again, and we can delve into many of the things later. I can tell you stuff.
All right. Well, great. Thanks for being on the show. We're excited to talk to you guys about it. This is fun. Matt, I don't know if you're excited about this topic as well, but I know I am.
I am. This has been a long time coming, right? In various different iterations, and I'm sure that we'll get into that as far as what was out there from the history of it being a fling out to the current release. So I can't wait to dive into the history and all the feature and functionality that we have in the current release that has been published out there in the associated blog article. But before we get to that, I know that there's some important announcements. I know Corey has some items out there. Let's get right into the news.
Yeah, let me do, Corey, before I jump, I'll just, the VMworld content calendar went live yesterday, the 20th. And I know that we have gotten a large list of the sessions. So we're going to be promoting them through vExperts and doing some interviews. Going to be some great sessions out there. I'm really excited about them. We looked through maybe 120 different key sessions yesterday and made a list of ones that we think are worthy of bringing on the show or highlighting. So we're going to be doing that. And I'm excited about VMworld now. Like it looks like it's going to be great sessions, and everybody has gotten used to this idea of recording good sessions. We're going to be doing some special marketing around them, as well as some engagement activities during the sessions themselves. So stay tuned for that. But if you want to go check out the sessions, go to vmworld.com and look for the content calendar. It is published. Schedule Builder's not live yet, and I don't think Schedule Builder's as important this year because it's all online. So we'll be able to expand that out. I don't think sessions will go away this year, but go check out content calendar and look at the different tracks that are going on. And vmworld.com now this year has good track summaries and track recommendations. So you can also look at vmworld.com and check out the tracks themselves and who VMworld is actually recommending for key sessions for tracks. It's pretty interesting. Much better website this year than previous years. So Corey, how's it going with you guys and vExperts?
Things are going well. I have to disagree that it's a better looking website than previous years, Eric. I used to develop vmworld.com.
Well, all right. I agree that it is one of the better ones since you stopped working on it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. It's been a long time. Yeah, so things with vExpert World. So vExpert second half applications are going to be announced August 14th. We hooked up vExperts with all test drive accounts, so VMware Test Drive. If you're a vExpert and you don't know about that, go read your email. It's in there. We've developed an API for the test drive environment. So the test drive environment just reads the API, pulls the data, signs you up for an account. And if you're a vExpert, coming up in the second half, you'll have an account for that as well. VMworld sessions. So we're going to start marketing the VMworld sessions. I've got an email coming out today to vExperts. So I'm going to be asking for blog posts on your sessions and why your sessions are important to your customers as well as the community, and how it's going to benefit them and why they should attend your session. And then once we start getting URLs from Schedule Builder, we're going to start heavily marketing those as well and start bringing people into your sessions. For the vExpert VMworld celebration party this year, we're going to have one for US and one for Europe. So there are going to be two separate celebrations. We're going to do some random winners. We're going to do some Meet the vExperts. We're going to do some 15 minutes about various topics, and we're going to have awards as well this year. It's going to be a little bit different with the swag bags, so we're not going to do swag bags this year. I think we talked about this a couple podcasts ago, but I mentioned it again. The budget for swag bags, if we did it for all vExperts, would be about $120,000. And we're a very small team for communities. So it's a little bit difficult, but what we are going to do are some really cool prizes, and we're going to do some drawings and some giveaways for sure to show our appreciation to the community.
Yeah. So Corey, I mean, that's a good point. And what we are trying to do this year, last year, we got a lot of registrations. We got tons of registrations. 150,000 people said they were going to come in and do sessions and go to VMware Code and all that. We got 25,000 registers for VMware Code. What we discovered is when we looked at the numbers, actually, how many people got up on that day and actually came in and watched a session and engaged, the number was like maybe 10%, maybe 20%. Yeah. Wow. Nice, right? This year, we're going to be plugging things in, including the vExpert party, right? So if the vExpert party is happening and you're there at 3/4 of the way through the vExpert party, you're still engaging with the content, saying hello to people, then you can expect that there will be more things given away near the end of the vExpert party than at the beginning of the vExpert party. So that's a note to everybody out there listening that if you want to engage with us this year, we're going to try to make it fun and rewarding for people that actually come longer. So
yes, absolutely.
Excited about that. All right. With that, Matt, I think that's all we've got for news. We got VMworld coming up. We've got vExpert stuff happening. Don't think I got any other news elements I need to cover, Matt. Are you good as well?
If you were a TAM customer out there that's listening along, make sure to reach out to your assigned TAM and ask them about TAM Customer Day that is associated with VMworld coming up, I believe, the first week of November for the event. So ask and make sure to reach out to your local TAM with customer days associated with VMworld this year.
Very nice, very nice. And with that, let's get to the fun topic of the show today and our two guests. Siva, let's talk to you first. Give us how long have you been at VMware? And you're an engineer. Your UI. Maybe take us 3 minutes of how you found yourself liking UI. How'd you come to be an engineer? How'd you end up at VMware? Tell the community members a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. So I've been with VMware for 3 years now. I worked on DCSI installer, vSphere HTML5 client, and prior to VMware, I started as a software engineer in Samsung, and after that, British Telecom. And Samsung, I'm responsible for improving the performance of browsers, Samsung browser and email clients, mostly. So it started. I mostly worked with the user interface and making it snappy. And later in BT, I developed dashboards for their customers. So that it started my passion with the user interface.
Nice. And where are you located? I can see you're in an office on YouTube here. You're in a home office by the looks of it. But where are you on the planet?
From India and in the state of Tamil Nadu.
Oh, very nice. Well, I hope things are going okay for you over there. And nice seeing you. And it must be like 4 a.m. in the morning for you right now?
It's around 12:46 a.m.
12:46. Oh, that's nothing. You can stay up a few more hours. Perfect.
I just had a tea. Yeah.
Right. A tea. Good. All right. Well, same question to you, Tihomir. Where you're obviously somewhere in Europe. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How'd you end up as an engineer and working at VMware, and what you're working on?
Yeah. Better shot at the name this time. Thank you. By the way, I have a shorter name that's Tisho. You can use this one. I'm in Bulgaria. We have a very large office, VMware, in Bulgaria. A lot of the user interfaces for vSphere built here. I came here like 10 years ago, been here for a long time. But before that, I started up as a backend engineer, actually, and I've been to all kinds of different products and portfolios, mostly enterprise. To be honest, it's been quite a ride at VMware, and the mobile client was a very exciting thing that we did together with Shiva and another member that's not here, Hari. He's from Greece. And I'm really happy to talk to you about it. I think that people would be really interested in the topic.
All right. Well, starting out, just asking you guys, and I don't know who should cover how did this project get started? How long has it been going on? Is it released today? What, are you at a beta release? Where are you with the mobile app? I know nothing about it. I was actually surprised to hear that we had one, and now I've seen the blog article, and I will say that on blogs.vmware.com/code, on the code blog, 2021-05-28, there is a really nice blog that kind of has some video content and whatever demoing the vSphere mobile client. So go check out the code website. You can go find it on there. So who wants to tell me the history of this project? How long has it been out there, and how to get started?
Yep.
Should I?
Probably. Yeah.
Or you? Okay, thanks. So it's been a interesting trip because it started up as a initiative. It's still a Flink. You can find out the Flink page at the Flink's site, flinksvmware.com. We also did a round of internal funding, which is the X Labs. There we wanted to kickstart this project and added a few more developers there. Actually, there were quite a few clients before that were mobile. One of which was Watchlist. Probably some of the viewers have used it or heard of it before. It was very successful, in my own opinion. However, it didn't catch traction inside of the organization, so it lost funding. To be honest, the mobile client right now is also not an official product, but we are working hard to get there. And of course, one of my messages to the public would be help us in any way you can, either with suggestions, ideas, or just talk to our representatives at VMware to let them know how much it's valuable to you and how much it helps you do your job. That will make the case for us a lot.
Nice. All right. Well, that answered my question. Is not out as a product yet, but it is a fling, and there have been several different starts along our journey. Where I know we did have a website on a community site that actually had kind of some of the mobile clients listed. I think that's no longer there, but there have been a handful of mobile apps that VMware has moved along. I think this one is interesting in that it is really a vSphere client, a full mobile client, right? It's not just a HTML URL. It's actually built, and you have quite a large number of features there that really make it, a first class mobile client for vSphere. So, all right, that's how it's got started. That's where you're at. One of the things that I think we should ask is, have you used it? What is your experience? I always talk about mobile on .com, and I go, yeah, why would you do this? Why go with a mobile when you're using a browser? I need a shell. I need Linux. Like I'm like that guy. But in the end, what's been the response for people using this, and how easy is it, or does it actually allow you to manage your VMs, connecting to ESX hosts and so forth?
Yep. So the main difference, right? When you talk about laptop and mobile, you can take mobile anywhere, and you have the biometric fingerprints and Face ID, and you can open the app very quickly instead of typing the password. And with mobiles, you have the monitoring and troubleshooting experience that is enhanced compared to your laptop. You can get notifications anytime whenever your VM is powered off, and whenever you have your task completed. So that's the main use case for us with the vSphere mobile client.
Yeah, we really like to make this app a center for monitoring and troubleshooting. Of course, it would never be as full as the web client that's usually used to administer the vSphere suite. But to be honest, you don't need that on your mobile. What you need in your mobile is a quick reaction to where, consider any use case that you're not close to a laptop. You're in the tram, you're traveling somewhere, you're walking the dog. The pandemic has made a lot of these situations very common to us. We're not going to the office anymore, but we're still stuck in home and taking care of chores and all these things. Just let us have this new use case.
That's actually a really interesting perspective that this makes a lot of sense, which is, if I look at Matt, if I'm staying at home right now, because I'm at home, I tend to bounce around a bit more. I'm not just sitting at my desk all the time because you're in this home environment. And so my mobile has become more interesting from a notification perspective, right? I have notifications set up on my mobile apps for Teams, messaging, mail, that kind of stuff, so that if I happen to be not sitting at my desk all day, which is more the case nowadays, the mobile acts as a way to let me know, can I answer this quickly? Can I deal with this? Because this is not a P1 priority where I have to run back to my office and get online. And so the mobile for me, when it comes to Teams and other interaction styles for the community, even tweeting and so forth, is just this idea that I can triage what the notification is to know how severe it is, whether I need to go get my laptop and make sure that I'm online and solving the problem, or whether it's just something that I can breeze over, forward somebody else. It's not my problem, or whatever that is. So I guess that for me, from a use case perspective, is really powerful in that you can monitor your things. Does it do multiple ESX servers? Can I get notifications from how does it do from a standpoint of, I guess maybe all my notifications aggregate up into one location, so then I'm just connected to that. So I would assume that works pretty well.
Yep. The notifications, you will get a lot of notifications for both ESX and vCenter server. Right now, the user has to deploy a notification appliance to do that, and we are trying to improve on that experience. But to answer your question, yeah, we get both the notifications for ESX and then vCenter server.
To be honest, the notification service And the whole notification experience is something we're aiming to improve greatly, because we think this is something that the users will really utilize once it's more feature proof. There's more options. One of the things we're thinking about is having this, when you have a bookmark on, let's say, a virtual machine or a host or some inventory item that's very important to you, you would start actually receiving any type of important notifications related to it. So it would really become a center for alarms and events, and it would be always there with you in your pocket.
So I got to ask, I get the notification and alarms now. Does it give you full functionality to mess with your VMs as well? Or am I just kind of viewing and seeing status and drilling down on my VMs to see the status? Could I accidentally vMotion, by clicking and accidentally hitting the wrong thing? How does that behave? Or, and how do you handle that?
You're not the first one to ask, by the way, and it's a very good question. I guess a lot of people are having the same thoughts when they first use a mobile device to administer their data center. It's a very important job, and you're never used to doing stuff from your mobile that are so important. No, for now, we only envision quick actions, and even if they are a bit destructive, we always have fail-safes, like we ask you several times whether you're sure you want to do that, and there's always a way to revert. So we try not to capitalize on the actions unless there's something that makes sense from the perspective of the use case that you're dealing with right now.
So Tihomir, how does that respect vSphere or vCenter permissions, right? Does the UI change? Let's say we have one user comes in as a true admin, a super user that has full vCenter credentials, but you have someone else that might have lesser permissions just to go in and maybe view permissions. Does the UI on the mobile client change to respect those permissions that have been set in vCenter? Or if they click on the icon right now, it's just not responsive?
As it is with most of our clients, the API would not return objects that are not within the permission realm of the current user. So for most cases, you would just not be able to see this item that you don't have access to. Having said that, since this is a Fling and you have to know that it's developed by just a couple of developers and
Sure.
mostly in their free time, there could be situations where we don't handle this very well. This is why we aim to productize in the first place. We want to make sure that we cover as many of these situations as possible. But for now, the client is just too small, and I don't expect a lot of these permission type of issues to occur. But there could be, of course. We try to listen to our users. They are our main contributor right now with their feedback and their ideas. We have a very large backlog that's almost entirely based on what our users are telling us about the application. So yeah, that's that.
Sure. From a storyboarding perspective, if you will, this isn't a primary admin interface, right? This is more of that monitoring, alerting, supplementary compliance, just taking a peek of things. Maybe once a job has started, that's going to be an extended run that you can go back in and check the progress of a task. I'm thinking like a snapshot roll up that has been out there and there's been multiple snaps and it's been running for a couple 100 days and it's going to take a long time to revert the snap back, and you want to see where the progress of that is, but you don't want to sit in front of a traditional, HTML browser. You can check in on that, right?
Absolutely, yeah. You're actually describing how the whole app was envisioned in the first place. This is what it is supposed to do.
So I want to go back to the monitoring alerting for a second. So you said as it stands right now, to get that monitoring alerting, we would have to have a monitoring appliance deployed, right? The monitoring OVA, yes?
Not really. Only to have push notifications sent to your phone, but the actual proactive monitoring that you could do it without doing anything intrusive to the system. But
so only if
we'd
want true push notifications would we require that secondary appliance.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
Okay. So how does and again, I guess this would be on because we're looking at primarily a vCenter type login. We're not logging into the host. We're logging into each individual vCenter. How does the app, because obviously there's these large enterprise grade deployments where there could be multiple vCenter instances. How does the app handle multiple vCenter logins? Does it catch credentials as Siva had mentioned about with Face ID or thumb notifications? Does it work that way for multiple vCenter instances? And then how does the alerting and the UI change as I need to switch from one vCenter to the other?
Yeah, certainly we have a cache in the local where we associate with the biometric fingerprint and Face ID with the password. And we have a UI screen where we can change the vCenters. We have a list of vCenter screen where we can click on that and change it. And you can use the fingerprint again to log into that vCenter.
Okay. And let's talk a minute about connectivity, right? So we talk about the app, right, that we'd have, and I see that this is both out there for Android and iOS, available, published out through both of their respective stores. So we download that app to the user's endpoint device. What type of connectivity currently do we need between that mobile device and the vCenter instance to grab the necessary data?
We need a VPN connection in order to connect to the vCenter server, or you should be on the same network as the vCenter server in order to get the data to the mobile app.
Sure. Of course, we'd never want to make the vCenter instance publicly exposed to the internet. We wouldn't want to make that secure. And then we could access if we were on an administrative network that would be no different than if the administrator's laptop would be on that same physical network that the mobile device has access to. Otherwise, if they're off-prem, we're going to need some type of VPN connectivity, as I hear, between the mobile endpoint and that vCenter instance to gain access to that network.
That's right. Yep.
We also wanted to. Oh, sorry.
Is there any special firewall parts that need opened up for this, or is this standard API calls just as we would have through the HTML client?
They're standard API calls like the HTML5 client. There's no special ports we need to open. So no worries on that.
Okay. And Tihomir, I'm sorry I interrupted you there. There was a point you were going to make, sir?
Yeah, sorry. I was actually the one to interrupt. I wanted to mention to a lot of users when we were describing this at VMware user groups, we really wanted, and we will invest in actually integrating with MDM software, that is software for mobile device management. Large enterprises usually deploy these to make sure that the devices are in compliance and inside of the VPN network. Once we are fully integrated with such solutions, the users would actually not even need to do any additional steps to get into the VPN, as long as the actual device is enrolled and the app is recognized as a trusted app. They would just be able to connect through the tunneling software.
Sure, we could see where this would play in with Workspace ONE access and multi-factor authentication, where we could deploy out the app. We would use not only the credentials for the initial login, but then the device itself is pulled that multi-factor chain to gain access to that particular console. Have a fabulous integration of both the mobile device and then what we're doing for our MDM plays as well.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So Matt, you did hit one of my questions, which is I get this on the two stores. That's good. This is a kind of an ARM client, I guess iPad and other kind of slightly bigger mobile platforms, I assume works fine on iPad if you want a bigger experience.
Yeah, that's a great point, Eric. Is there a specific app that's been developed for iPad OS for the tablets, or is this just a single app right now that can be deployed to both the phone and iPads as well?
It's a single app which we use for both phone and iPads. The UI is fluid. It changes when we use the iPad. We have the icons to the left, and in mobile you have menu options available in the dashboard.
Cool. So other things that are on my list to talk about are vSAN, VROPS, and other VMware solutions. How are we doing, and how many people are actually on your team to address some of this stuff? Like I know that we will do a call for like people to go get the mobile app and get people to fund your group bigger, right? Maybe we should start a social funding campaign. But when you're talking about doing additional penetration into things like vSAN and VROPS, how are you guys handling that?
Another good question. Yeah, actually, vSAN have already released a mobile client almost in the same time that the mobile client, the vSphere mobile client, was released. At that point, because it was an initiative from two different teams inside of VMware, it was not really well timed in terms of how we integrate, and even the look and feel is a bit odd and different. But we have noticed this very quickly, and we are now working with the respective teams to find a way to integrate and make the whole experience seamless to the user, because this is what we want. Essentially, we want the user to feel like they're using the same app. It's not necessarily going to become one and the same app. Actually, my personal belief is that we need more, as long as the way to move between them is really smooth and there is no way for you to feel any difficulty while using these. We are also talking with VROPS. That was the #1 question in VMware user groups from different TAMs and users, because when you say monitoring and when you say troubleshooting, you always think about VROPS. So this is on the list. And now the hard question about the number of people working on it. Mostly 3 people working on their spare time. We are funding also any type of initiative that's reasonable. We have a different internship that we want to help both the client and the intern gain knowledge on this and implement some features. And we have different ideas on how to move forward. But yeah, for now, it's very small team.
Right. So support is good. Maybe we'll call for some of our vExperts to go out and download it, set it up, and then blog about it, so that we can get some get a little bit of groundswell support for this, because I think it would be really nice to have such a thing. I'm gonna put in my feature requests. We'll talk about how to do feature requests. I want a Russian roulette kind of connect me to a new vServer server, and so that way I can just get alarms from everybody, and I just go, I'm bored today. Let's see how everybody else's servers are doing, right? Or maybe we have like a leaderboard where you stack rank whose vServers are running the smoothest, right? So you could just kind of have a points layer. I'm thinking all the social mobile apps and what do they do, and could we tie that into could we have voice activated my vServer talk to me on my phone, right, and tell me, hey Eric, good morning, my VMs are doing really good today, how's it going for you? All that kind of fun stuff that you don't have any resources for as well, but we could get a groundswell there, and we should ask some of the experts to go do, in all seriousness, some support for you guys, because 3 engineers on a mobile app part-time, this is one of the things that we always struggle with, is how do we keep these kind of cool things going, get them resourced, they're kind of edgy because, the reality is most of us still have our vSphere fat clients that they're running as well. So good to know. Well, let's talk about, in that same vein, watch list, and could this happen to the mobile client? Like, what happened to watch list, and could this happen to the mobile client as well?
Siva, want to take this, or should I?
No, it's not going to happen with mobile client. We have a solid plan. Like Tihomir mentioned, that we have internships going on, and we have other integrations we are planning. So
what happened to watch list? Give us some history. This is a talk show.
Okay, the watch list UI is old, and it's not. It's not changed based on for the new versions of iOS and Android, and there's no maintenance for it, and that's how there's not much track on the watch list.
Right. So
if you want to,
we wanted to avoid the same problem.
Right. So it's the classic, it didn't get enough support. We didn't pay attention to it enough. And so next thing you know, it's no longer resourced. The one or two engineers that are working on it part-time give up and move on to something else. And then the new OSs come out, new versions of the phone mobiles come out. And we know how that goes. A cool project, but then eventually the cool people that did the cool project, get new jobs or go do other cool projects. And if it doesn't grip in and get solid funding and base of users, then it gets hard to do. So it's good to get exposure. I think coming on this show is that kind of solves some of that, that dilemma itself, right? When we talk about like VMworld, I do want to ask: have you guys managed to get yourself a VMworld session around the mobile app, or was that an impossibility?
No, we actually managed to this year. We will be presenting the mobile app. Cheers. It's been the third attempt, actually, I think. So I feel it's a good success. If somebody's going there, you're more than welcome to come by visit.
What's the session number for those that we have the session catalog out there now? And so what's the session number, if you can share that?
You caught me by surprise on that. To be honest, I don't have it right now.
That's okay. We can look it up for you and continue along. One of the questions that we had out there that Corey had brought up is where's the best link to dive in for the information that's out there as far as the change log and the availability of the app itself, or if a person would find a bug or whatnot as far as to track and give the both of you and the team feedback. So I would think that would be the Fling site, but I'll let the team answer for where the best point of information is.
We have a Twitter handle. It's at vSphere UI _team. People can post it there, the features they want, and if they face any issues with the app, we certainly see those messages. And they can also post on the comment sections in the Flings page. Okay,
so over at flings.vmware.com, or to complement with that, at vSphere UI _teams. And Corey Romero, quick with the search function out on that VMworld session. It is code 2753. Again, code 2753. So if you would want to hear more on this development path, I'm sure that these gentlemen are preparing the deck as we speak, and that there will be several more releases and iterations, maybe even some product roadmap in that presentation. So if that is of interest to you, make sure that you attend that session on code, again, 2753 for the mobile client.
So Matt, we do have a question on chat, which is kind of interesting. So I'll throw that in so we can get this in real time to some degree.
Absolutely.
Does it support VMware Cloud? Ooh, good question.
Yes, it does support VMware Cloud. Once you open the app, you are introduced with a screen where you can choose between on-premises and VMware Cloud. You can click on the VMware Cloud and give your username and password, and it will take you to the SDDC dashboard page.
So VMware Cloud is kind of a loaded term. What actually do we mean when we talk VMware Cloud? Is it VMC on AWS? Is it other hyperscalers? Is it something else? Does VMware Cloud mean on-prem cloud? What does that actually mean?
It's VMC on AWS for now. Yeah.
Nice. That's sweet. So yeah, there you go. Another reason to go VMC on AWS, right, is you can actually see your cloud alerts as well on your phone. I like that. Right. Nothing ever goes wrong on AWS. It's solid though.
So currently, right now, if I had, let's say, a GCVE instance or the Azure VMware solution, that's currently not compatible, but I'm assuming on the roadmap.
Yes. Actually, this is something that I've heard recently. When you say it's on the roadmap, again, consider it's a 50-person team. So
sure,
I can't really say if it's going to be done sooner or later. But we are very interested in becoming a very cloud-oriented solution. One of the things we're considering right now is how we can integrate better with the cloud and how better we can provide services that would be missing otherwise in the private cloud. And one of these services is the notification service that you would have to deploy yourself. If we can save the time for the user to deploy this notification service and provide it as a cloud service, that would be something that we think is going to help a lot of users.
Sure, just deploy it as a feature set within VMC on AWS, and boom, ready to go, and it's already there. Yeah, fantastic idea. I have a question for each of you individually, and Tihomir, you had just brought it up. So, if there is one item right now that is on that top priority list that you have identified that the client currently doesn't have, and you wish it did, what is it?
Yep,
Steve, I'll let you go first on that one. How about that?
It should be the multi-VC support. I think having the power to check all the vCenters and going through all the inventory details of multiple VCs at the same time in the same screen is pretty powerful on your hand. So I would say multi-VC support.
Could you see at one point where we could be doing from a mobile device cross vCenter vMotion?
Yep, that's an interesting one. Yep.
Okay, just an API call away, right?
Yep.
All from
if it makes sense.
Right. There's some workflows out there that are just going to be, just not suited for a mobile experience, right? I mean, this again, we're looking at this as a monitoring tool, not as a true primary admin interface.
Yep. Right. So I do got to ask, right? So if this isn't your guys' day jobs, right? Because this is part-time, what do both of you do for your real living, right? Because it's always so interesting to see how you guys are balancing what you're really doing for VMware versus the cool project you're doing for VMware. How much of this is your real job versus only part-time? And what do you do?
Yeah, that's a tough question. We actually both work on the vSphere HTML5 client, and whenever we introduce new features and we see that's an easy one to implement in mobile client, and we jump on that and we implement that.
All right.
Yep, I'm working on the personality manager right now and the new incarnation of the personality manager. It is a tough thing to work on both things, but I'm really passionate about it. And to answer the previous question, I would say notifications, although I do believe that Shiva is right, and it's a very good thing to have multi-VC, but I'm really passionate about having this as a notification platform for our clients.
Nice. All right. Well, that's not too bad. I mean, ideally, you just want to have a translator that when you write code over in the HTML5, it just goes and creates whatever C# or whatever you're using on iPhone. What is the iPhone code base now? I forget what they call it, Swift or something.
Swift.
Swift, yeah. So you got to go. Just have a HTML5 to Swiss translator, and you're good to go. You just write code, and it pops up with another thing. Isn't AI good for that anyway? It's engineering is easy. You guys don't really do that much. It's good piece of cake.
If it was only that easy, right?
Yep. I think also he's frozen, so I can say anything I want right now because I don't think he'd respond back because the screen is. But Siva's actually still here, so we'll probably get him back before we end this. We're coming up to the 10-minute mark. So Matt, what else do we got? I'm looking at the sessions. We're good with the sessions. Good for next year. What else do we want to hit Siva with?
So what is some of the feedback you've been getting from the community? I'm looking out here on the Fling site, and it seems, especially one, I want to call out that this is an active project, right? That there's been several releases here on the 2.0 branch within the last couple of weeks and months. And there's a lot of comments and feedback, and it's not only from interaction from the user community that's actually has this app deployed, but it seems like you're heavily engaged with those commenters and very responsive to the feedback. So one, thank you for that and being responsive to all these comments that are out there. But what are some of the themes that are occurring? What are you hearing out there as this has been deployed, and what's the community asking of the app, and what's their general impressions?
Mostly the users check out the VM page. Most of the users request features on the VM page, and there are some stability issues that the users bring out to us, and we are working on stability, making the app stable with some issues, fixing some issues. And there are new features that the users bringing on. Some are interesting, like they want to know the temperature of the hose and such things. So yeah.
That would be cool, right? Yeah. A little bit more data, drilling down on the data, expand what the data view is for each of the hosts, right? Or even the servers themselves. Yep. Yeah, the host servers. Yep. Like that. That's actually pretty cool. All right. You've got VMworld coming up, right? That'll be exciting. Any other things you can think of from a standpoint of what you want to accomplish? If we were going to have the vExperts do a campaign around, how to get you more support, right? Would it be a full-time rec to have somebody full-time on the project? What do you think your number, like if you had 3 top asks from us, if we were trying to drive more awareness to more downloads? Do you count how many downloads are there? I guess the question is, what can the community do effectively for the rest of the year to help you guys be successful?
We certainly appreciate the blog articles, and if the users get to know the mobile client, and if they can give us a lot of feedbacks, maybe that will drive us forward, and we'll go in with the management team too. And yeah, getting a full-time people to work on the client is it's very good if we can get that.
Good. We're just dealing with Tihomir trying to come in, and he's been in and out, so we're hoping he'll be near the end. But that sounds good. I think we can help. We can certainly have Corey do a call for some blog articles to make that happen. I know I'm excited to go give it a try, so everybody that's listening should go get it and download it and give them feedback. Sounds like you've been doing some vMug integration, interactions and enablement through vMug, so that's also good. So it's almost like we need to get this on more vMug scheduled agendas.
Yep, we are looking at vForums too, and we want to present there and see how the customers react to that.
Right, and I love that you have a code session. So go Kripa and the code crew for getting you a session. That's going to be a live session, so people can come in. And I would suggest that we'll enable some kind of a mobile giveaway for your session, and we'll do a marketing campaign to make sure that people at the end of your session that are at the end of that would potentially win something, so that if you have downloaded the mobile app and you're in this session and you guys ask groups to people in the audience to go do something on the mobile, that whoever comes up with the right answer in chat could win something. So we'll do something there just to drive awareness, because I think this is actually a pretty cool thing that you're doing, and we need to get the community behind just making sure that everybody knows that it's there, because it's been long enough without a nice mobile that this, if we get this momentum going, it would be good. I still think you need a full-time rec. Are you guys going to be worried that you're going to lose control of this if we get you staffing? That all of a sudden, I know how this goes because we do interesting projects and it's our baby, and the next thing you know, it gets funded, and then some VP comes in and wants to take ownership of the whole thing, and you're back. You lose control of your own project. I don't think that's going to happen, but does that make you worry?
Oh no, not at all. Because anything, if the project goes forward and I want the customers to be happy and using the mobile client and have some peace at home.
All right. Yeah. That is true. If you love what it is, you just want it to be birthed and grow up and be a happy adult. So I get that for you. So we're coming up. We got 5 minutes left. Let me repeat the blog. And Matt, you can ask always your favorite question at the end of the show. But the blog is blogs.vmware.com/28/vSphere-mobile-client-access-vSphere-any-anywhere-any-device. So if you got all that, that's sweet. Otherwise, just go to
blogs.vmware.com and search for the mobile client.
Go to the code blog, blogs.vmware.com/code, and go check it out. Go check out the session number.
Now that's the overview, right? With great videos and whatnot. But if they actually want to download the client itself, flings.vmware.com, and look for the vSphere mobile client. And then once you have it downloaded and installed on your Android or iOS device, if there is features or questions that you have for the team, we heard again 2 ways to reach out. 1, post up on the Fling site within the comment section, which is Siva and Tihomir constantly monitor. You can see through their responses that other persons that have posted and been interacting with, they're very responsive with this, or that Twitter handle that it's out there. Siva, the Twitter handle one more time.
It's vSphere UI _team.
It's okay. So vSphere UI _team. So if you'd want to tweet them out with questions as well. And we have that if you're watching us over on youtube.com/vbarbecue. We have posted that here in the subtitles as well. So thank you for being on. And Eric, any other final questions for this team?
No, not really. This has been good. Other than we will transition to the barbecue report. I know Corey ate some barbecue, and Siva, you're in India. Do you guys do barbecue in India? It's 12 o'clock here. It's actually 1 o'clock. We go get lunch, so we end up with the V barbecue report. So Siva, what's your favorite barbecue in India? Do you guys do any kind of cool smoking of meat or anything smoking of rice? What do you get to eat over there that's barbecue?
I'm a vegetarian here, and I like paneer tikka. We have stewed paneer cubes, and we season it, so it's really a good cuisine.
All right, sweet
recipe.
Corey Romero, did you barbecue this weekend?
You know what I did? So I took 2 of the 3 of my sons out, and we've got a lake just about a half hour away from us, and we did trout fishing. So we got up at 4 o'clock in the morning, went out, and we were in the water by 5:15 with our poles in, and I think we caught 12 trout, but only kept 3. Just the others were too small, and so we took them home, and we filleted them, and filleted them with a little bit of butter. So normally what I do is I put them in foil, and I'll put them with garlic, and I'll put some butter in there with a little bit of lemon, and then you just lightly wrap it up so you get you still get the smoke in there, and you just cook it, and it was amazing. It was great.
Yes, that's awesome. The cornfield in my backyard came in. We definitely have 150 ears of corn, so we barbecued corn as usual, and I have learned something about harvesting corn. definitely want to harvest it early. Don't let your corn sit in the cornfield too long, because if you let it sit too long, it just gets mealy, right? So we had some corn that was fantastic because it was fresh, baby, nice little poppy sweet corn. But then some of the bigger corns that we left on for maybe an extra week or two were starting to get a little mealy. So especially when you put it on the barbecue and burn it up a little bit. So it's there. And I see we've got our guest back, so we'll ask him. So what is your favorite barbecue? We're just finishing up with the barbecue report. So I'll ask you. So what is your favorite barbecue? And that goes to Tihomir, right? I'm going to say it wrong again, but we're finishing up with a V barbecue. It is lunchtime. You're in Europe, and if you're live, I got to ask you, what is your favorite barbecue?
Well, it is the same that you eat, because I've been there. And if you're talking about the actual meat, or is it how you make it?
Anything. This is the V Barbecue Report. It goes at the end of the podcast, every show. It's lunchtime here, so we just talk about it to close it up. And Corey gave us some, Civic gave us some. So just tell us some barbecue stories.
Yeah, so we had just a couple minutes ago, they were so yeah,
Obviously, we need to get Tihomir a VeloCloud device for over at the Bulgaria office. Unfortunately, his connection seems to be a little bit intermittent there. I do have to say, I have a personal V barbecue report. This is more on the equipment side, and it could be considered sacrilege, but nonetheless, I need to share, even if it is just to be poked fun of. So within the past week, I finally made the conversion over from propane, which again, in and of itself is probably ixnay for you true barbecue charcoal enthusiasts. But I made the switch over from propane over to natural gas for my outdoor grill, just because I didn't want to ever have to deal with those propane tanks ever again. So it was an amazing switchover. I can just go over there now, turn the gas on, light a button, and never have to worry about going to a service station for those 25-pound propane tanks ever again.
Yeah, that is super impressive to hear, Matt. Your stove in your house just uses natural gas too. Maybe you should just save yourself a little bit of time and just put it in the oven.
Yep, I knew that was coming. Stepped right into that mess, so we'll let that one go.
You could, you could also move down to Texas, because I hear Texas likes using natural gas as well. So I think you could fit down there in Texas and do some barbecue down there, and you'd be happy. Yeah.
I'm going to leave you alone on this one, Matt.
Corey, thank you.
I appreciate you.
You know what? Everybody has to do barbecue in their own way. There is no right or wrong, Matt. So I'll give you that. That natural gas sounds like a heck of a good upgrade compared to having to go get propane filled up all the time. So I'm with you there.
It will bring up many probably thoughts of consternation. I will be ridiculed from this day forth, but it's the idea of getting outside and doing something that resembles grilling. So if it takes natural gas to do that, well, then, at least in my opinion, so be it.
Do natural gas lines freeze in the wintertime? Do you have an issue around having gas lines out there?
I have no idea. That has not been brought up. The connection would be above ground. I do not know if that's an issue. It's a valid point. So that's something we'll have to look into and have to report back on from the user experience team from all things natural gas. I might have to put a comment in with our natural gas provider around here of what's the situation when it gets below freezing.
Yeah, I think you'll be fine. I think now that I'm thinking about it, lines just run outside. So I think it's good. With that, we're 3 minutes past the hour. So we got to let our guests go. We all have to go have other meetings to do. This is not our day job, much the way the mobile app is not their day job. So support them, go download it and give it a try and tweet about it. And we're going to have some vExpert blog articles on it. And we should have some fun with that. Until then, have a great week. Eat some barbecue. And Matt and team, good to see everybody. See you again next week.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.